What if I told you that one of the most water-rich islands in the Caribbean is running out of water? That beneath the lush green mountains, roaring rivers, and cascading waterfalls lies a quiet crisis threatening the island's very way of life. It sounds impossible, right? How could a place blessed with so much natural beauty, so much rainfall, be struggling just to keep its taps running? Before we dive into this incredible transformation, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned, because what Jamaica is doing right now might just redefine how small nations fight back against climate, geography, and time itself. For decades, Jamaica has been a paradox, a land where rain never seems to stop falling, yet water shortages have crippled daily life. Imagine living in a place surrounded by abundance, yet every morning you're not sure if water will flow when you turn the tap. This isn't a small inconvenience. It's a question that defines how people live, work, and dream. For millions of Jamaicans, this scarcity has become a generational challenge, one that the island is finally determined to defeat. The problem begins deep in Jamaica's rugged heart. The same mountains that give the island its beauty also trap its blessings. They pull in rain clouds, feed the rivers, and nourish the soil, but they also make it nearly impossible to move that water to the lowlands where most people live. The result? A cruel irony. Plenty of water, just in the wrong place. Then comes the other half of the problem, the island's aging infrastructure. Decades of wear and neglect turned Jamaica's water network into a sieve. Engineers even have a name for it: non-revenue water. It's a fancy way of saying that most of the treated water never makes it to anyone's home. In the worst years, nearly 3/4 of all pumped water simply leaked away through cracks and rusted pipes. That's like pouring 10 buckets of clean water into the ground and watching 7 disappear. When droughts hit, especially the severe ones in 2022 and 2023, the weakness of the system became painfully clear. Reservoirs dropped to record lows, the capital city's supply ran millions of gallons short, and entire neighborhoods faced daily water lock-offs. Businesses closed early, farmers lost crops, families stored water in buckets like liquid gold. The drought didn't just dry up rivers, it drained hope. But then came a turning point. Jamaica decided it would no longer accept this paradox. Instead of patching leaks and praying for rain, the government launched one of the boldest water infrastructure revolutions in the Caribbean's history. Hundreds of millions of dollars were committed to not just fixing pipes, but reimagining how the island moves and manages water. The mission was clear: build a new circulatory system for the entire country. Massive pipelines, new pumping stations, powerful reservoirs, everything redesigned to outsmart geography itself. It's not just a set of projects. It's a national gamble on the idea that technology and willpower can rewrite the island's destiny. Let's start on the North Coast, Jamaica's economic powerhouse and home to its booming tourism industry. Here, a project called the Drax Hall to Landovery Pipeline became a symbol of what's possible. For years, hotels and homes between Priory and St. Anne's Bay were straining under an outdated network that couldn't keep up. The new pipeline changed everything. Stretching nearly 8 kilometers and built for 370 million Jamaican dollars, it now pumps 2 million gallons of clean water every day into the system. That means more reliable service for thousands of residents, new opportunities for development, and a stronger foundation for one of Jamaica's most profitable regions. Next, we head east to Portland, a lush parish that for generations depended on rain and luck. Communities from Orange Bay to Black Hill often went weeks without a steady supply. But the new Crystal Spring and Orange Bay water supply system aims to end that story for good. Costing more than 650 million Jamaican dollars, the project focuses not just on pipes, but on building resilience. It's being built in 2 stages. First, installing the core pumps, intakes, and a 150,000-gallon steel tank, then expanding with more lift stations and another massive storage unit. When completed, this system will finally bring 24/7 water access to thousands of people who have never known it before. Further south, in the hills of St. Andrew near Kingston, the challenge shifts from drought to elevation. Getting water to these high-altitude communities has always been one of Jamaica's toughest engineering puzzles. The answer? The billion-dollar Ferry to Rock Pond pipeline project. It's a monumental effort involving over 7 kilometers of heavy-duty piping, twin pumping stations, and huge new storage tanks capable of holding hundreds of thousands of gallons. In plain terms, Jamaica is literally building a staircase for water to climb mountains, something previous generations could only dream about. These aren't just random projects scattered across the island. They're part of a national strategy, a networked grid designed to make water flow seamlessly from one end of Jamaica to the other. The government calls it a smart approach to infrastructure, fixing roads and water lines together. Through a massive 45 billion Jamaican dollar national program known as SPARK, Shared Prosperity Through Accelerated Improvement, road crews are now laying pipelines while resurfacing highways. It's efficient, forward-thinking, and more importantly, it prevents freshly paved roads from being torn up again just to fix an old leak. But beyond the engineering, something deeper is happening. These new pipelines are reshaping Jamaica's social map. Reliable water isn't just a convenience, it's a quality. It's kids not missing school to fetch water. It's women not spending hours a day carrying buckets. It's small businesses staying open, farmers planting more crops, and entire communities finally breathing easier. Economically, the transformation is even more profound. Tourism, Jamaica's biggest earner, depends on stability. Investors now see the North Coast's water revolution as a green light for expansion. New hotels, housing projects, and attractions are already in the pipeline, literally and figuratively. Meanwhile, Portland's upgraded system is expected to supercharge both tourism and agriculture, especially in the fertile Spring Gardens Agro Park. And politically, the message is clear. For decades, politicians promised better water systems that never materialized. Now, for the first time, those promises are turning into concrete and steel. Leaders have set ambitious goals. Water resilience for Kingston, St. Andrew, Portmore, and Spanish Town by 2027. Meeting that target would mark a generational victory, a moment where infrastructure becomes not just a technical feat, but a symbol of progress and pride. This push isn't happening in a vacuum. Jamaica is facing the harsh realities of climate change. Droughts are longer, hurricanes stronger, and every year brings new uncertainty. These pipeline projects are more than construction. They're defense mechanisms. They're fortifications against the storms and dry spells to come. And the innovation doesn't stop there. To cut energy costs, the National Water Commission is integrating solar power into its pumping stations, ensuring that water keeps flowing even when the grid struggles. But perhaps the most jaw-dropping chapter in this transformation is just beginning. In 2025, the government launched the Western Resilience Water Project, a national mega-project with a staggering budget of 675 billion Jamaican dollars. Its first phase alone costs over 28 billion Jamaican dollars and targets Jamaica's booming western parishes, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland. These regions are the heart of the island's tourism belt, and this project will completely overhaul their water infrastructure. Massive new transmission lines, upgraded treatment plants, and modern distribution systems are being built to ensure that as Jamaica grows, its water future remains secure. When you step back and look at the scale of what's happening, it's hard not to be amazed. The island, once known for its water paradox, is rewriting its story. Every new pipe, every pump, every tank is a strike against decades of scarcity. These projects aren't just fixing a system, they're redefining a nation's relationship with its most vital resource. Jamaica is proving that even small nations can dream big, that they can take on impossible challenges and win. In doing so, the country isn't just changing how water flows, it's changing how opportunity flows. Because when water runs freely, so does everything else: growth, education, health, and hope. This is more than an infrastructure story. It's a story of defiance, innovation, and vision. A story of an island that refused to be held hostage by its geography. The great paradox is finally ending, and a new chapter is beginning. One where the sound of rushing water is no longer a symbol of nature's power alone, but of human determination. Jamaica isn't just building pipelines, it's building a legacy. A future where every drop counts, and every community, no matter how remote, finally gets its share of the nation's most precious resource. If you found this story as inspiring as it is transformative, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the incredible projects reshaping our world.